Everybody, you're back with Joey Ciccone, the World Center of Broadcast Media. I do a show called Connected every Friday from 11 to 12. I got the real deal, Dominick Montiglio. He's on there. You know, you got a lot of friends now. You're starting to build a lot of friends. Where you been? You out fishing? I don't know what's going on because I thought I talked to you one time. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, well, that wasn't me.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. It wasn't you. It wasn't you.
It was somebody who was impersonating me for 2 years.
Wow. Wow.
Finally, my kids saw it. One of my kids saw it and said, "Dad, you got to go to this website. You won't believe it."
Okay.
You know, and I went there and I said, "This is not me." You know. So
it wasn't you, and you had to get the word out that it was you, and
it wasn't me because I mean this person that was imitating me was saying stuff and that was 90% bullshit.
Wow.
You
Wow.
know?
Right.
You know, I mean, the real stories, you know, were kind of gruesome.
Yeah. Well, the real stories. The real stories, we want to get them today because maybe that person made you maybe more popular. The bottom line is we want to hear what's going on today. I know a lot of things from the documentary you're seeing, friends, that's out there. It's available. Dominick will tell you. I believe it's $25. This is an 11-minute little teaser, but you can get that. Dom, did you want to give a website right now or anything, or you were speaking of that? Did you want to lay that on us right now for my friends and fans?
Nah, I'll do that later.
All right, we'll do it later. Okay, let me ask you
as long
something.
as long as you got the address right for the documentary, because we're pushing that.
Okay, very
good. It's an hour and a half documentary. It shows everything.
Right, it tells your whole life story pretty much.
My art.
Well, that's what I want to get into that. I want to start talking about that. But let me ask you, let's talk about some other things. Part of your crew was the Iceman part of the crew? What is it?
The Iceman
Kalinsky?
was full of shit.
Really?
We saw him one time, and we sold him a .380 pistol. And that's the only time we saw him.
Okay, but
he makes it like he was part of the DeMeo crew. He even made it part of that. He was the one that killed Roy, and I know for a fact he wasn't. You know.
Right. So now, so what we see in that, that Hollywood version of that, would you say that's not very accurate? Would I be correct in saying that?
Not at all. Not when it comes to the DeMeo crew.
Right.
You know.
Right.
He had nothing to do with us at all.
Okay, because I was very interested in that if he did, because in that movie they portray Ray Liotta as Ray DeMeo. So, hey man, we're hearing it from you. You were there. You were there, baby.
My uncle put me in charge of overseeing that crew.
Yeah.
So I was with them a lot. But they were just vicious. We had the Gemini Lounge, and then behind the Gemini Lounge we had what I used to call the Horror Hotel. It was an apartment where they did all the work. And, somebody would come in, Roy would shoot him in the head, wrap a towel around their head so the blood would splatter, and then Chris DeMeo would stab him in the heart to stop the blood. Then they'd all go over to a pool liner and start hacking him up and packaging him and sending him to the fountain of.
Yeah, now you say they, with all due respect.
Oh, the whole crew.
Well, were you a part of that? Were you a part of that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I love, man. Just to tell it like it is today. You've done your time. You've done what you had to do. There's nothing to hide. You were part of that crew, doing those things. Did you ever come across Ganji and Tommy Karate?
Oh, I knew Tommy real well.
Yeah, let's talk about him
You
a
know.
minute. Talk about him a second. Expand on that a little bit.
Okay.
Because I'll only take a second here to tell you, but I read The Butcher, and me and you were talking privately, and you said, Joe, The Butcher was nothing compared to some of the things that you guys did, but it's a pretty heavy book, you know, the book that I read, but you know, expand on what happened here, man. You know, you guys did things, dismembered, people disappeared. This is what it was, okay? And it was a very vicious crew, friends. So if you want to know a little mafia history, a little thing about Omerta, this is the real deal talking today, and he's here to tell you stories. You want to chat in, hit that button.
Yeah, well,
Go ahead.
I mean, you had, I walked in there one day, and there was two bodies bleeding out in the shower, and we had dinner before, you know, because it took about 45 minutes for them to bleed out. And I asked Roy, I said, who the hell are those guys? He says, don't worry, you're not staying for dinner. You know, I mean, they looked at it, you know, I mean, when they were hacking bodies, they were eating pizza.
Yeah, they were munching on the pizza. It was nothing. It was just this is a job that we do. Okay.
Yeah, they just enjoyed it.
Make it.
They actually enjoyed it.
They enjoyed it, right? You might enjoy it a little bit.
Yeah.
Vinny says some crazy stories. Vinny and Fletch, I got them right now on chat. You guys, why don't you ask Mr. Montiglio a question, you know? Make it a nice question. Make it smart. I like what they had in the, whether it was the New York Times or whatever. Dominick Montiglio, from corpses to canvas. All right? And you're doing some, I just want to touch on it now because we only have an hour in the show, but you do some badass artwork, man.
Yeah, no, I got into art after I got into the witness protection program.
Right.
And I only stayed with the witness protection program for about a year, and then I said, I got to get out of this.
Oh, then you
they
got out.
tell you where to live, they tell you how much money you're going to get. You know, you just got enough to live month to month.
Didn't you
And
travel?
they don't buy you furniture. What?
Didn't you travel like a lot of places? Didn't you get moved around a lot too, or what?
Oh, yeah. Fuck. I don't think there's a city in this country I haven't lived.
Maron, you went through
Yeah.
every city. You had a lot of different aliases too, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But let me ask you.
know.
But let me ask you something. All right, are you the real Dominick Montiglio?
Yeah, I could swear to that. And I got proof of that.
You got proof of that, baby, right? Right?
Yeah.
Well, look,
You know.
they're gonna see it in the documentary, but I always like to end the segment on something funny. But you'll relate to it, and they'll see it in a little bit. But I'll tell you right now, you're getting no turkey for Thanksgiving. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I know. That's what drove me into the army.
Yeah, I know. We're
Yeah.
gonna talk about that. You went into Vietnam because of that. You threw the wrench right at the guy's head. Crazy.
Yeah, I was, yeah. And he told me I wasn't going to get my turkey. And I said, you know what, you big Polak. I said, I quit. And on my way home, I passed the recruiters. And I stopped in and told the guy I wanted to be a paratrooper. And he said, you know what you got to go through before you become a paratrooper? I said, just sign me up.
That was beautiful, man. And you
They
served
did.
and you served our country, and that means a lot to us. Listen, we're going to take a little break. Joey Ciccone in the house with Dominick Montiglio, World Center of Broadcast Media, connected. We'll be right back.
Dominick to such an extent. He had complete control of him. When he was 6 years, 7 years old, he became the class monitor and that whole story. And
Right.
Dominick had to tell the teacher, I can't be the class monitor anymore, you're a rat and all that.
My mother said we're moving to the suburbs, and everybody in the family chipped in, and we bought this house, you know, in Brooklyn. And we just loaded it up with the family, all 3 floors, you know. Okay, the second house in is where I grew up. Yeah, right there. You see those white garage doors? Yep. On the other side of those garage doors was Nino's bedroom. I lived on the top floor. My grandmother lived in the middle, and Nino lived on the bottom. That was what's famously known today as the bunker. You see, they removed all the shit. We used to have iron bars on all the windows, and I mean, it was a fortress, man. Everybody in the neighborhood knew who we were. It's the weapon of choice. My palette knife. I switched from a 45 to a palette knife. Every little thing that, you know, that I've done, you know, I try and get onto these little collage pieces, and then when they do come all together, you know, hopefully it works. When I was doing these paintings, I was calling it painting for life, because that's what has to happen. I have to sell these paintings in order for me to stay here. I need 10 more paintings by the end of April for a show in Manhattan. I never took like an art class in high school. Art was like for the sissies, you know, and it wasn't, you didn't take art, you know. That wasn't like allowed in my crowd. See, it was okay to have a doo-wop. And I love music. I mean, I sang in high school. I mean, we had like a serious recording group. 4 Directions. I used to call it the 4 Erections. We recorded on Decca Records. We were in Billboard magazine. You know, I mean, we did 13 television shows and stuff. We weren't like a minor group, and we were really good. So I mean, we opened for the Drifters. You know, I mean, we were up there. Well, we needed like this last push, you know, to really like get up there. You know, and my family, meaning the Gambino family, they had a guy, Larry Martiri, who is still around, who ran Roulette Records. Which at the time, Roulette was like the hottest label around. So I went to my uncle and I said, look, you know, we need this little bit of push. You know, if you could get us transferred from Decca onto Roulette, and we record something on Roulette, that'll give us a lot more exposure. It'll give us a lot more push with the DJs when they see Roulette, you know. And he said, no, can't do it. I said, what are you talking about? You can't do it. I said, 1 phone call, you could do it. And he said, no. He says, I don't want you in that business no more. He says, that business is all drunks and drug users and womenizers. I don't want you in that business. So, okay, great. It's okay to blow somebody up in a car, but it's not all right to sing. You know, I mean, so that was basically the end of my music. It got to a point where I was so depressed over that, I joined the Army. You know, because I just had to get away from everything, you know, and I said, well, fuck, there's a war going on, might as well see what that's about. In high school, I was like, I majored in tool and die making, and I got hired by Grumman. And I worked on the LEM, the Lunar Expeditionary Module.